Sticky Toffee Thomas. It was summertime on the island of Sodor. The engines were very busy. The children were having a big costume party, and there were lots of jobs to do. Percy collected the cakes and candies. Toby collected some sticky taffy to make taffy apples. And Thomas took the tables and chairs. When Thomas delivered the tables and chairs, he saw some children. They were making costumes for the party. "That looks like fun," tooted Thomas. Then Sir Topham Hatt spoke to Thomas. "Thomas, I would like you to give train rides at the party," Sir Topham Hatt said. "But first you must go to the washdown so you look your best."
Yes, sir!
Thomas was delighted. He loved giving children train rides. Thomas puffed to the washdown. He was thinking about the children and their costumes. "I want to go to the party in costume too," chuffed Thomas. "Then I would really look my best."
Thomas was soon covered in soapy suds. He was scrubbed and rubbed. Rubbed and scrubbed. Then Percy arrived at the washdown. "You look like a giant bubble," peeped Percy.
This gave Thomas an idea.
"That's it," puffed Thomas. "I'll go to the party as a giant bubble." So Thomas puffed quickly away, still covered in bubbles.
That's not what I meant!
He couldn't wait to show the children his costume.
Now I look so fancy when I arrive at the costume party, said Thomas, smiled.
Then there was trouble. Bubbles went to his eyes. Thomas couldn't see where he was going.
And he didn't even see the points wasn't set properly. Thomas took the wrong track. He went through around the bend.
Toby's axle was broken. Sorry, puffed Thomas.
No one was hurt, but Cure Rhythm had derailed and she was completely injured.
Soon Sir Topham Hatt arrived.
With Edward.
"Toby, you must go to the yard to be repaired," said Sir Topham Hatt. "If I don't take the sticky taffy to the party, the children won't be able to make taffy apples," moaned Toby.
Please, sir, it's my fault for bumping into her, said Thomas.
"I could take the sticky taffy to the party."
For her.
"Very well," said Sir Topham Hatt, "but no more trying to be in costume." Soon all the soapy bubbles were cleaned off Thomas.
And Edward take Cure Rhythm to the repair yard. And Thomas took the sticky toffee to the party.
"That's it," chuffed Thomas. "I would look grand if I arrived at the party as an airplane." He thought about his costume for the party.
And when Thomas was fast asleep when he was daydreaming, he soon woke up and looked at the time and then... Bus lost my buffers! It's almost time for the children's costume party to start! If I keep daydreaming, I'm going to be late even more, said Thomas. Thomas knew he had no time to waste. He pumped his pistons and he raced off as fast as he could. Oh, I should have daydreamed!
Thomas puffed as fast as he could. But he wasn't watching where he was going. Thomas didn't notice that the points had changed. Thomas puffed into the sidings and biffed into the buffers. Sticky taffy splattered everywhere. Oh no, moaned Thomas. I can't give the children train rides when I'm this messy. If only I'd been thinking about what I was doing. Then Thomas saw an old branch line. This gave him an idea. A shortcut, puffed Thomas. If I go that way, I can still get the taffy to the party on time. Thomas puffed along the old branch line. It hadn't been used for a very long time. Trees hung over the track, and the bushes were overgrown, where Thomas puffed carefully on. He knew he was late, so now he wasn't thinking about costumes. He was only thinking about getting to the party on time. Thomas bumped through the bushes and bashed through the branches, but he was still covered in sticky taffy. Leaves and twigs stuck to the sweet sticky goo. Must get to the party, must get to the party, Thomas puffed. When Thomas arrived at the party, he was covered from funnel to footplate in leaves and twigs. Everyone cheered when they saw him.
Thomas knew he finally arrived on time, but he was too embarrassed to give them train rides.
I've brought you the taffy, Thomas puffed sadly, but I'm too messy to give you train rides. The children cheered. You're not messy, just in costume. You look the best of all.
Thomas was surprised at first, but for cheeky with a smile and a lot of a whistle, Thomas beamed. The party was a great success thanks to Thomas.
And there was only one thing more popular than the Sticky Taffy apples, and that was Sticky Taffy Thomas.